Hi, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot. Welcome to 10 Talk Tuesday. Today I want to talk about erotic tarot decks and whether there's still space for them within the tarot community. Welcome back. Erotic tarot decks. Novelty or not? My personal opinion is that the more comical erotic tarot, for instance, the Casanova tarot, the Decameron tarot, with which I have a copy, those I would classify as novelty decks. I'm not going to haul those decks out when little Mrs. Jones from down the road, my twittery little client, comes trotting up for her monthly reading. You're not going to go like penises and shaved vaginas flying everywhere. I mean, that's poor Mrs. Jones will have a stroke, and not in a good way. So we are going to have to be very circumspect when we take out our erotic decks and start doing readings for people. However, those sort of decks to me are novelty decks. They are decks that I would buy. I only have the Decameron Tarot, so I don't have many because they don't really interest me that much. But I would buy those simply to pull them out when my friends come around and we can have a good old laugh, or take them to use them at hens parties or something like that. It's not something that I would take seriously. However, there are some exquisitely tasteful and beautifully presented erotic decks. And I'm not talking about porno decks. I'm talking about erotica, titillation, hinting at sexual dalliances. One of those decks is the Abyssal, or Abyssal. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce it. I would assume in this case it would be the Abyssal tarot deck. And it is a deck very much in the vein of Victoria's Secret, where it is a deck of ladies in underwear. But it is so tastefully done. It's not degrading at all. And it's just a really beautiful deck. Now, yes, there are the usual ones that we all know of, the Kama Sutra Tarot, which again is based on the whole sexual positions of the East. There is the Kama Sutra book, and I think the tarot deck obviously is based on the positions in the book. Again, a cartoony kind of deck, but it kind of falls between the novelty deck and the serious, well-presented deck, because it is more a historical deck, because it is actually just more historical than titillating. If any of you have seen the Kama Sutra, you'll know that it's not exactly like something you'd lie in bed with a torch under your blankets with. It's a very interesting and very informative and instructive book and tarot deck. So there's that in-between funny, ha-ha, naughty, there's a penis on my card, and the extremely artistic, beautifully done tarot decks. Also, tarot decks don't have to be all boobies and willies to be erotic. We're not talking about porn here, we're talking about erotica. And there are decks that are extremely mainstream that are actually quite erotic. A lot of the cards are very erotic. One of those decks which I have in my collection is the Apocalypsis Tarot. It's just a very, very beautifully rendered tarot deck in jewel colors that is quite erotic. It has a lot of naked flesh in it. No nudity, but naked flesh. And it's a very interesting, the characters interact with each other on the cards in a very interesting way. So it doesn't mean that for a deck to be erotic, it has to be naughty or pornographic. It just means that the cards have to instill a feeling of titillation or even discomfort in a sexual way to the user or the reader. Cards are not meant as a turn-on, oh my God, drool, saliva, there's boobs. They are meant as, I think, a doorway into a more emotionally vulnerable area of the brain, and I'm not talking about the silly Decameron decks and the funny little cartoony ones. I'm talking about the more serious erotic decks. They open up an area of the brain that will allow you to think in a more sexualized way. Now, we all know that tarot decks are 99.9% psychology. We all know that they act as doorways and triggers with the different archetypes. And why not trigger our sexuality, our sexual centers, our root chakras, our sensual areas of the brain? People today are so caught up in almost a Victorian terror of sexual anything. There are two extremes in our modern age. There's the extreme where we are so shit scared to say the word cock or the word pussy, you know. So we are all shit scared of this because of political correctness. We don't use words like that. We don't say things like that, like the Victorians. On the other hand, we have dark rooms and red rooms and internet porn. Porn, in my day, if you wanted to look at a pornographic magazine, my God, you have to import it from, Sweden, because in South Africa it was completely banned. So, you have that dark, grungy, sex, dirty side of things. There's this dichotomy. And I think for the average person out there, it's so difficult to find a middle ground, especially when you are bombarded from both sides with this sort of weird sexual energy, the intense sexual energy, and this guilt, So with all of this having been said, do you, as a tarot reader, or just as somebody who would like to go for a tarot reading, do you feel that there is still a niche for these cards to be made? Do you feel that if a deck was presented to you, a tasteful deck, would you add that to your collection, or would you be offended by it? Me personally, I'm offended by very, very few things. As long as it doesn't involve animals, children, or blood, I'm not terribly offended. Whatever you do behind closed doors, that's your indaba. If you're going to stick that sort of thing onto tarot cards, I'm going to have a problem. But I don't believe that there is a need for a complete blackout of naughty cards. There have always been naughty cards around. Not tarot, but definitely playing cards, postcards. So I think, from my opinion, there is definitely a niche for this. Maybe people who are reading tarot cards out there in a more, I'm not too sure how to say this, puritanical way or pure way, simply see these cards as novelties and as almost blasphemous to the whole cartomancy industry. That's an opinion, you're entitled to it. I do believe that erotic tarot cards can be used for love readings, relationship readings, novelty readings. And as I said to you earlier, it opens up a area of the brain that is so shut down because of our political correctness, so completely not looked at, because we also don't want to look at our own sexual wants and needs and proclivities and our eroticism. I do believe that our society today has become completely de-eroticized. It's either porn or puritanical thought, It's not dirty, it's not pornographic, it's just opening your mind up to different things, And I'm all for a good mind opening. I don't know about you. But yeah, my 10 cents worth on erotic tarot. I'm going to put a few links down below to 3 erotic tarot decks. Not the most hardcore that I know of, but 3 erotic tarot decks. Go and have a look at them if you haven't heard of them. And if you'd like to buy them, it's the Amazon link. So all you got to do is click, click, go, as long as you have your credit card ready. Okay, I'm Nat from Tubby Tarot saying, I'll see you on the bedside, on the flip side.